All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into the playbook for innovators, intellectual property. We're going to talk about how you can take that amazing spark of an idea, your brainchild, and forge it into a powerful asset that shows up right there on the balance sheet. This is how you build real, lasting value.
So what's the secret sauce? I mean, really, what is it that separates a cool idea that fades away from a company that changes the world and is worth billions? Well, it's way more than just a brilliant invention. It's a very specific way of thinking, combined with a powerful and often invisible force multiplier: intellectual property.
You know, it all starts with how you think. Before you can even begin to protect an idea, you have to have the right framework for creating it in the first place. So let's break it down. What is a technopreneur, and what makes their mindset so fundamentally different? I love this quote from Eric Ries because it just nails it. Success isn't some kind of magic lightning strike. It's a process. And the technopreneurial mindset is all about blending that creative spark with a really disciplined strategy. And the best part? It's a skill. It's something you can actually learn and get better at.
When you boil it all down, this mindset is about seeing technology not just as a gadget or an app, but as a tool to solve a real, fundamental problem. We're not talking about just building another business here. We're talking about using tech to completely shake up entire industries and create massive economic growth. And this is where you see the huge difference in scale and ambition. A traditional entrepreneur might build a fantastic local business, something with steady, reliable growth. But a technopreneur, they're thinking about global scale from day one, using technology as leverage to innovate and grow at an exponential rate.
So, you've got that brilliant, scalable idea. Now what? Well, your very next move has to be strategic. You need to protect it. You've got to build a defensive moat around your innovation so you can grow without watching someone else run away with all your hard work.
And that's exactly where intellectual property, or IP, comes into play. It gives you the legal framework to build that moat. It really stands on these 4 key pillars. And listen, these aren't just separate items on a checklist. A truly smart strategy layers them together for ironclad protection.
First up, we've got patents. These are the heavy hitters for brand new inventions. If you've created a unique piece of hardware or some kind of groundbreaking new process, a patent basically gives you a government-backed monopoly on it for a set number of years. It's a giant do not copy sign for the world.
Okay, next up, trademarks. Think of this as your brand's unique fingerprint. Your name, your logo, that clever slogan, these are the things that make customers recognize you in an instant. A trademark protects that identity, which is absolutely critical for building loyalty and just surviving in a noisy, crowded tech market.
Now, copyrights, these are essential in the tech world. They protect the original, creative work you pour your heart and soul into. And yes, that includes the thousands of lines of source code that make your software run. That code you wrote? Yeah, that's your masterpiece, and copyright protects it. And finally, we have trade secrets. This is that confidential special sauce that gives you a massive competitive edge. The perfect example is Google's search algorithm. Here's the kicker, though. Unlike a patent that runs out, as long as you can keep it a secret, this protection can last forever. Okay, so you've built your moat. The walls are up. Now what? This is where the strategy shifts. You're not just playing defense anymore. Your IP transforms from a simple shield into a powerful active asset that you can use to really build and grow your business.
A strong IP portfolio is like a Swiss Army knife for your startup. Seriously, it gives you a competitive edge by keeping copycats out. It can create totally new revenue streams if you decide to license your tech. It makes you incredibly attractive to investors, and it solidifies your brand's place in the market. It's a multi-tool for growth. And this is so important to get. These benefits aren't just, abstract ideas on a slide. A smart IP strategy is a practical, direct solution to the real make-or-break challenges that every single entrepreneur runs into.
So let's get real for a second. What are 2 of the biggest hurdles? Getting noticed in a saturated market and struggling to truly innovate, right? Well, this is where IP is a complete game changer. A unique patent forces you to stand out, and a focus on IP builds a culture where innovation isn't just a goal, it's a requirement. Without it, even the best idea can get drowned out before it has a chance.
Okay, so you've used IP to build this incredibly valuable asset. But how valuable is it? How do you actually put a price tag on an idea? And what's the ultimate potential here? Well, this is where we get into the big leagues. Just take a look at this number. Let that sink in for a moment. 26.
$0.2 billion. This is the kind of mind-boggling value we're talking about when a world-class IP portfolio gets put on the table in a high-stakes acquisition.
That was the price tag when Microsoft bought LinkedIn. And listen, they weren't just buying office furniture and a logo. The real value, the billions of dollars, was in LinkedIn's intangible assets. Its IP, the software, the powerful data analytics, the network itself. Think about Google buying Android. They didn't just buy a company. They bought an entire mobile ecosystem built on patents and copyrights.
Right, so how in the world do you get to a number like that? Valuing IP is definitely complex, but it usually comes down to one of these three methods. You can look at what it cost you to create it, you can compare it to what similar IP is sold for, or, and this is often the most powerful, you can project how much money it's going to make you in the future.
Look, building a valuable, IP-driven company is a huge deal. It's an amazing achievement. But as we create these technologies that literally change the world, we have to remember, with great innovation comes great responsibility.
And that leads us to a really big question, maybe the most important one of all that every innovator needs to ask themselves. Because the tools we build, well, they're never neutral. They have a real impact on real people.
And let's be honest, that impact isn't always a good thing. We have to think about the unintended consequences. New technologies can create brand new divides in society. They can amplify existing problems, and sometimes they can be used in ways we never, ever imagined.
And that's exactly why this stuff, ethics, responsibility, it can't be something you just tack on at the end. It means building principles like fairness and transparency directly into the code from day one. It's not just about doing good, it's about building trust, which is the foundation of a sustainable business.
So this is where it all leads. Intellectual property is one of the most powerful tools you have to turn an idea into an empire. But the ultimate question isn't just what you're going to build, it's how you're going to build it. The real challenge is to use this incredible power not just to create wealth, but to create a world you'd actually want to live in. So what will your legacy be?